Hi everyone, good evening. Can I request everyone to please switch on the cameras? Abhini, Komal, Mohit, Niharika, Sanjana, Ashish, Priya, Rishika, everyone guys, can you please switch on your cameras? Sanjana, Nikhil, Niharika, Niharika beta. Can you guys see my screen as in the PowerPoint? Can you guys see that?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you Mohit, thanks for that. All right, guys. While the other people join in, let's just kickstart. Let's just kickstart in terms of what we really have in store today. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Strategic Business Leader March 2026 attempt pre-scene material analysis. The coming 2 hours or so, in terms of what we'll be spending on the pre-scene material, is gonna be targeted towards one to understand what the case is, what the study is, what the industry is, what the company is all about. That is the one piece of it. The other piece of the things that we really want to unlayer and, of course, understand is that we want to get the perspective as to what you should be now thinking about in relation to the industry and the company that we really have in our hand. When I say what you should be thinking about, you should be thinking of it about uh, uh, what are the pluses, what are the minuses, what are the risks factor, what are the downsides, what are the upside for the organization that is there in the question, and so on and so forth. So there is a lot that we will be talking and will be covering in this session, more from the perspective of unlayering each and every component of this industry and the company that we really have at our hand at this point in time. Guys, please do not forget one thing. We have in last 3 days we have revised the entire content in terms of what was needed to really hit the floor in the best possible way. We have really gone into the details. That is very important. Many of the times, what student does is that they really concentrate on the pre-scene material so much so that they tend to forget that the real essence of this exam is nothing uh, but the content that you have learned over a period of time. While you have to apply that to the pre-scene material and to the, of course, the question that you have in your hand, while you have to apply that, but that is only the application. Content is gonna be the content what you have learned. So pre-scene material is important, no doubt, no doubt it is important. But what really matters is that what you know, what kind of technical skills that you will demonstrate, and so on and so forth. I think there is some. Just give me a sec. I think there is something wrong, which is creating an issue out here. All right. So with that logic, let's just kickstart, guys, in terms of what we really want to cover. What is that is gonna be the agenda for the coming 2 hours or so. What we want to do out here is that we really want to unlay, and it is more to do with the fact that we want to understand the case that is being given to us and how to use this pre-scene material in the best possible way. I think that's again something that is really important. So we'll try to cover both the aspects as we really go forward, and of course touch base various aspects of this pre-scene material. I do want to talk on the overall, I would say, the view of the areas of the industry and the Mercy. Mercy is the company that is there in the pre-scene material. So we really want to unlayer the overall, I would say, KPIs, overall parameters, overall areas that are impacting this industry and this company at large. We want to touch upon that, and of course, with a view as to what should we be thinking now as a strategic business leader of this organization, of the industry. So we probably have to think through like that, and then probably we'll be able to address that rightfully. we do want to talk on some of the areas that I want you to think through. Towards the end, I have a specific slide that really talks on the key areas, the the areas that you should be thinking through now, considering the case that we really have. That is to give you a perspective that how you should be thinking it from now onwards till you hit your exam, and what kind of things that you really have to have in your mind, and so on and so forth. So that's pretty much what we really want to cover, and ensure that all of us really, I would say, in some way or the other, we have an expertise on. Just give a sec. Just give a sec. I think there is some issue out here. Is my screen clearly visible, guys? Some of the folks have been saying that they're not able to visualize my screen. Is my screen clearly visible to all of you? Ebony, Mohit, is my screen clearly visible, guys? I don't know, yes, but there was some issue around that.
Yes, sir.
All right, fair enough, guys. So let's just kickstart, guys, in terms of what we really wanted to cover from the parlance of this pre-seed material of March 2026 attempt. What we really have in store today is that they have given you the introduction, my friend. Introduction in relation to the company that we really have. We have Mercy as a company, which is one of the five largest magazine publishers in the country of Darland. So you have a country being given Darland, and we know that our company's name is Mercy Limited. We are one of the five largest magazine publishers. Okay, our company is established 60 years ago, so we are quite a veteran in terms of what we bring onto the table. We publish various magazines covering wide range of leisure subject. Do not forget, guys, we are a leisure subject magazine company. So we are not into any other business, but we are into leisure, which effectively means that one of the aspect that may come our way, I don't know if that will come up, but is that should we explore out various other subjects in the market or not? Who knows? But that's again something to look forward to. Magazines are available both in the print and the digital format. We very well understand that, and I think that's pretty clear. All right, now if I really talk on the sectoral information, now when I say sectoral information, it is about the industry at large. What do we really want to know from the industry parlance? Magazine is a regularly produced publication containing articles and illustrations, usually focused on a specific subject or a target audience. We all understand. Oh God, what is happening? Sorry, guys. At times, technical issues really gives you the good amount of hassle. All right. So magazine covers wide range of subjects, and you and me, we both are used to magazines. We have seen magazines. They cover various articles, various illustrations, various topics that need your understanding, that need you to be aware of, and so on and so forth. So magazine is not something that is new for us as a product. We all very well understand that. Publisher may also have other media interests such as market research services. That's again something to look forward, because many of the publishers, they, on one hand, they of course they're like, they're like factory in terms of creating the content, and on the other hand, they're very much interested in doing the market research. And that is where I think we might get to see something being asked in some way or the other, because I have not seen pre-seen material really talking onto this area, but I think this is one of the area which is very specific to this industry, which is publication, wherein you have to do a constant research, the market research, which is an ongoing research kind of a thing that has to happen in order to really keep yourself abreast with the latest topics, latest changes, and so on and so forth. The five largest publishers in Darland are accounting for 50% of the total market revenue, which is huge, my friend. So, five top publishers are having 50% of the content, and I've been saying that in the last few days also, that I personally feel that this industry is more of an oligopoly kind of a thing, wherein they only have few players who are really driving the market. The total magazine market in Darland is about $8,000 million in revenue, which is again huge, my friend. Huge in terms of the market size that we have. We just have to take the, I would say, the as max as possible as the market share is something that we should be targeting out. All right, moving on. Now, many of the areas that you would see in these sectoral slides are primarily to be read in a storytelling way. I really want you to know that examiner wants us to understand this industry, and I relish the SBL exam for that, because actually SBL exams put you into a situation wherein you're you're actually uh, the specialist of that industry. You actually know the industry in and out, and if you really get into the details of the information that is being provided to you in the pre-scene material for the March 2026 attempt, you would get to understand that they're actually giving you a lot of content from the publication industry for you to really understand the industry, which is very good, because once you understand this industry, then you would actually be able to do you should be able to connect the dots when it comes to the company, which is Mercy, that you have the in the coastal. So very important that we understand how the revenue is being generated, what are the cost, what kind of market segment it is, what kind of elements of revenues that we have, what kind of customers base that we have in this segment, and so on and so forth. Magazines are typically published monthly. We all understand that. Maybe weekly, maybe quarterly. Each issue is referred to an edition. Who doesn't know that? There are monthly editions, there are quarterly editions, there are 6 monthly editions, there are yearly editions. We all understand that. Most magazines are available in both print and the digital format. So it depends. Any company can choose out any format, but both the magazines are being available. Print market is declining, though it is expected to remain significant for some time. But do not forget, my friend, that print market is declining, is in the declining mode. Okay, we get that. Readers are individuals who pay to access magazine content in the print or the digital form. It's like you and me, right? We are paying for having that magazine in our hand, having that magazine into our iPad, and so on and so forth. Some readers pay for subscription, which provide access to multiple edition or online content for a set period of time. We all understand that, right? Subscription model is something very common. Even for newspapers, I have taken the subscription at my home, wherein there is a combo of Times of India, Navbhar Times, and Economic Times. All three of them are coming, together onto my house for 1 year. So we take subscription, which means advance revenue, advance money to a vendor, to a customer, to a owner of a business, to really drive the business on the ongoing basis, which is something I would say as a businessman I would relish if somebody if somebody wants to pay me the advance in terms of subscription. Readers who pay in advance for the ongoing access are nothing but the subscribers. We all understand that. See, what I've done is that in these presentations, I've given you the gist of the entire pre-screen material for you to really, scan through. Even before the exam, you can scan through these slides and you can very well understand that, yes, this is what it is, this is what it is going to be, and so on and so forth. So it is actually for your ease that would help you in terms of, getting some insights as to what the pre-screen material is all about. All right, now if I really go on to the product piece of it, most magazines in the Darland focuses on leisure activities and interests. Now, that effectively means that this country is more of a leisure country. That's what I could somehow generalize out of the whole content. That most of the things are around home, lifestyle, sports, hobbies, computers, motoring, transport, music, films, TV, and celebrity news. So effectively, everything is happening to have fun. Everything is happening to have enjoyment, to have leisure, and so on and so forth. There are also business and professional magazines targeting specific industries and occupation. There is only I would say small bit of it, the way it is being ported out here. But who knows if there is an exhibit which says that you are targeting something in the business and professional magazine domain. Who knows that, right? Time will only tell, but that's again something to look forward to. Magazine content varies from subject, but typically includes what? Latest news, articles, regular opinions, and of course, product reviews related to a particular subject or a product, and so on and so forth. Basic, something that we all understand, something that we all know, no rocket science out here. Happy New Year with me on this? Yes, sir. All right, moving on. If I really talk on the product in further, we have digital content that is somehow uh, made different by the publisher. Some of them are replicating their print content, and some of them provide some additional documents or additional digital content. That can be website material, that can be emails and newsletters, that can be podcast, that can be social media engagement too. Do not forget, Mohit, one thing that is really important out here is that many of the times what happens is that some of the companies, they're issuing digital media which is replica of their print. Absolutely same, nothing. But some of the companies are adding different colors to it. For example, if you take up the Times of India today in a digital format and Times of India in the in a print format, those will be I would say almost same. But there are some players who have a different way of publishing digital data as compared to print data. They add some different colors to it. They add some different things to it to make sure that those are different from the print media. They can add newsletters. They can add some social media posts. They can add some new, the website content, the news content, and so on and so forth. So they keep doing that. So those are the kind of different contents that are being available in the market. Publishers from the partnerships to maximize distribution of digital content. See, many of the publishers, they form partnerships with digi app stores. For example, if you would see, many of the newspapers also, they have tie up with big websites, and they are displaying their content over there in small bits and pieces, which effectively takes them to their sites for them to really purchase the digital version of it as much as possible. So they really have those cartels or a partnership running around to make sure that you are able to cross sell, or you're able to sell your product on various websites. If I really talk on the staff that is available in this business, we have staff that is working on various areas. We have writers, which are nothing but the authors of those articles, those publications. And these authors can be in-house authors, these authors can be freelance authors. Very common, right? Those who are on your role, they're like in-house, and those who are you're really taking on the contractual ground are nothing but your freelance authors. Very good. Freelance authors are paid per piece of work that they produce. On the other hand, in-house authors are being paid, and they're on the salary, and they're paying on ongoing basis. Some freelance authors are also known as subject matter experts, and they're paid to provide opinions. Have you ever seen, guys, the NDTV or the Republic TV, or the other channels that really go in the news going up? You would always find some media spokesperson coming and doing a debate in the evening, or during the election time, and so on and so forth. They're all being paid, right? They are the subject experts. They are being called to really speak there, and then they are being paid on the similar basis. Even in the publication, you keep calling those people to give their reviews, give their points, give their understanding, and that really helps getting them paid. Well known or expert freelancers may receive high fees. On the other hand, if you're new, you may get to pay lower. Some of the other magazine staff that is being here is, we have the editors, we have the design staff, we have the IT support staff, we have advertising staff. Advertising staff is nothing but people who are responsible for selling the space in the magazine business. So Niharika, let's say you want to give a post or give an ad on the first page of Delhi Times. That will be charged higher as compared to the page 3, page 4, page 5. And then the bold ad is having more value, colored ad has more value. black and white ad has less value, and so on and so forth, right? So depending upon what kind of ad you want to put in where, it depends, the kind of space that you're buying, and that effectively revolves around, the amount that you'll be being charged. Then we have the marketing staff, which is of course responsible for marketing of the magazines that has to go to different channels, which is okay. And then you have the magazine's editor-in-chief, who will be overall in charge of the magazine, and all employees and freelancers, etc., etc., they report on to him as the case may be. Is that something new for us, Ebony? Is that something that we are really feeling out of the world? No, right? We all understand this business. We all understand many of the terms of this business. It's just that we're just trying to give it a structure to it. It's just that we are just giving a thoughtful structure to this magazine business to, of course, kill the exam in the best possible way. Is that clear, Niharika? Are you with me, my friend? Sleeping? Niharika, are you sleeping? No, sir. All right, Niharika, my friend is sleeping. Niharika, is that right? No, sir. All right, let's go ahead. Then you have, for each edition, we have the editor in chief who decides the content and assign writers. We understand that. Authors may write the content from their desks, all right, or they conduct external activities to gather material. It's more like, data sourcing, right? They do various events, they do screenings, they do uh, sort of data extraction or the gathering kind of thing. Authors may follow a magazine style guide which covers acceptable and unacceptable content, which gives the tone and the presentation in which the data is to be given, and preferred terminology if there is any specific terminology to be taken care. Authors must set deadline to allow time for editing and production before the publication. Very well understand that. Completed content is reviewed and edited by the editor. After editing, content is compiled into full edition, including advertisement, reader's letter, and editor-in-chief reviews the final edition before it is being printed or uploaded online. Very basic, but we understand the process in terms of what really happens when a magazine has to be printed. Mohit, you're clear on this? Very basic, guys. There is no rocket science onto this, but this actually gives us a flavor of how this industry really is working out. With you, with me or Sanjana, with me on this, Sanjana beta. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, moving on, guys. Moving on to the software piece of it. Now, considering we are into the business which is pushing the data onto the digital media, we have we have to deal with various softwares, right? To print, to push the data, and so on and so forth. Many publishers pay software fees to the suppliers to support content publishing. A digital publishing platform is software. We have digital publishing platform is a software specifically designed to produce digital content. Its capabilities depend on the software that is being used. What is the key function of it? It gives you the digital and layout, design and layout, multimedia elements that are to be there, the multiple channels in which you will be publishing it. So it helps you do that. Integrating advertisement into the digital content, that do data analytics, you do search engine optimization, e-marketing tools, integration, and of course paywalls, restricting certain content to be visible only to the paying users. Have you seen, guys, many of the times, even when you are in moneycontrol.com, I don't know how many of you are into the share business, but there is a limitation to which you can read the content. After that, it says, buy a subscription or buy a newspaper or buy a magazine. So they'll give you the gist. It's more to attract Ebony into it. So Ebony will read the headline that interests Ebony. Ebony will start reading it. 10 lines they will give you, and then they'll gray out the other lines. They'll say, what? Buy a subscription. So that's another way of selling it. They call paywalls, right? So they effectively hide you or hide the content for you to really pay and then move on, and so on and so forth. Everything like this is being managed by various softwares that are being available, and that's going to be very pertinent and very common in this industry per se. Now, coming on to the source of income, my friend. What is the source of income in this industry? How do you get money? Of course, Abhini will get money when she will sell the print magazines to the retailers. Why not? Abhini very well understand that. When you print subscription, then you get subscribers fees. That's again something that you would be getting. That will be paid in advance. And of course, uh, once I've paid the money for subscription, newspaper is being delivered at my home on monthly basis, daily basis, and so on and so forth. We can have digital subscription also. Niharika loves going digital, so she might buy something digital, a digital subscription, so that if she can watch things onto her iPad and so on and so forth. There can be a sale of advertising space. Mohit loves selling advertising space. He makes good amount of money out of that in terms of getting the advertisers to that and so on and so forth. And then all of these spaces are being used for advertisers, business pays for it, and so on and so forth. Expenses क्या होने वाले हैं? What kind of expenses are gonna be there? Sanjana, we have paper cost. Of course, if you're doing print, paper is one of the biggest element of it. Printing cost, ink cost, biggest element of it. If you're outsourcing printing, you have to pay money. If you're making it in house, you have to pay for machinery, pay for ink, pay for management of those machinery, pay for maintaining those machineries, and so on and so forth. Then in this industry, you also have a distribution cost. Abhini, my friend, this is something really important. This industry needs good distribution network, good distribution channel that can be automated, that can be fully digitized too in some way or the other, that can have some benefits in terms of automation. But of course, there is human element that is being involved in it. So we have to think through the pluses and minuses, because you have to deliver to the subscriber on his doorstep. That is only and only there in the subscription, or in the distribution business of the publishing industry. Now, we do have employee salaries. Niharika is very highly paid. We do have salaries that we have to pay. We have freelancer author fees. We have technology running cost. We have office premises cost also out here, because you are renting the office, so you have to really, of course, pay some cost in relation to the same. What I've tried doing out here, my friend, is to give you a bird's eye view, cockpit view of all of the areas, so that all of that is on the one slide. You can just skim through slides later on and get the full perspective of it. I don't have my friend out here today, who was very worried for getting these presentation, but you would get it all of these presentations will be shared with you, Niharika ma'am. Please do not worry. Mohit, you were asking something, my friend.
सर कैसे ऑटोमेट होगा डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिस्टम?
See, कैसे होगा तो बड़ा डिफिकल्ट सवाल है मोहित. हो सकता है, नहीं हो सकता है, is a very interesting one. Just think about, let's say, I'm just making it easier for you. The Bennett and Coleman, who is owning Times of India, Number Times, Economic Times, and so on and so forth. They would have some way, right? Some automated way of thinking through that, which newspaper will be sold at, in which part of the city, which newspaper they have to print from where, and which is nearest to the people in the mass. So they would be doing some maths around it, and then when they'll be transferring those newspaper from vehicle to different places, they have to have an automated way to define what is the best route, what is the best weight, because this will also be a function of weight being carried out. They have to decide how much weight they would carry to what distance, and what will be the economies of scale that you would get for having small vehicle, bigger vehicle, biggest vehicle, and so on and so forth. So for example, even when you travel in trains, right, when you travel in trains in the morning, 7 a.m., 6:30 a.m., you would find newspaper hanging out there also. So there would be a mechanism by which newspaper gets delivered there, right? How do they do it? What kind of mechanism they follow? How they have automated the entire process? Is there an automation being done? Is there a scope of automation that saves the cost of transportation. That saves the time, because over here, not only the cost, time is also equally important. So are you saving the time? Because if there is a daily edition or a weekly edition, there would be a particular day, let's say Monday morning, it has to be delivered. So they have to think through, that everything has to reach Monday morning. They cannot give it on a Sunday, because that would steal the thunder. You can't, just give it prior. You have to give it on that particular day, and that too first thing in the morning. How would you do that? How would you circulate to the shops even at the same point in time? How would you distribute to the offices at the same point in time? There has to be some maths to it, some logic to it, some automation to it. How do they do it? You know what I mean, right? Mohit, it's not about how would you do it, because there can be function of statistics, that can be a function of you applying your maths to it, your science to it, your business knowledge to it, your geographical knowledge to it, and so on and so forth. There can be a function of all of those parameters. But if this thing comes in your way, at least you should have your mind broad enough to tell 10 things that they should be considering. You don't have to make that plan. You only have to suggest that plan, contemplate that plan, and talk on that plan. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Kalpana, is that clear, guys? Can you move ahead? Mohit ji, can you move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. If I really talk on the industry body that we have in the question, which really deals with the industry, which really deals with this industry per se, which is the publication industry in Darlin. What is happening out there is that we have an agency called Newspaper and Magazine Standards Authority. They call it to be NMSA, Niharika Ji, which does what? Which does the check out on the on what is happening in the industry. They're the ones who are issuing regulations and guidance on the content accuracy, taste and offensiveness, reporting the controversial issues, behavior on the publishers, employees, and so on and so forth. They are handling the complaints. They require magazines to be doing the correct things, right things, and not misleading people. They may impose fines and various on regulatory breaches, and so on and so forth. So every industry, right, has some regulator, and this industry, NMSA is the authority that is really controlling out the the way things are happening out, and of course managing on being done on the publication industry on the whole. Very important, guys, is the stakeholders. Ebony, I love stakeholders. Ebony is the person who love to work with the stakeholders. In this industry, stakeholders are the following. You have the magazine readers, you have the directors, content authors, employees, paper suppliers, distribution businesses, the printing businesses, retailers of the magazines, advertisers, providers of the digital platform, investors, very important, significant individuals, organizations in the sectors covered by the magazines who you are really covering, be it sports bodies, computer game manufacturers, pressure groups, and of course NMSA regulator. All of them are your stakeholders. Mohiji, both important slide hai, very important, guys. You should know your stakeholders, and you should understand that you have to think about them in doing what you're doing, come what may. Is that clear, guys? With me on this? All right. Now, what are the industry challenges? They have specifically given you the industry challenges that are there in this industry. The most significant challenge is declining demand for print paper based magazines. So, we are seeing the declining demands. That's a big one, because it is leading to reduced subscription or retail sales income. Publisher may replace lost revenue for print sales and subscription. They have to think about it. How do they do it? Many magazine topics have free online content available. ये एक बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है अभी इस इंडस्ट्री के लिए. which I think is gonna be a big problem, guys, which these organizations might have, because a lot of the content, lot of the articles are freely now circulated, yeah, on the WhatsApp, on the LinkedIn, on the social media platforms, on the YouTubes of the world. A lot of the content is freely available. Who wants to pay for it? Big time problem. Publisher needs to produce high quality, engaging content always. It should be that enough that the reader should have willingness to buy or willingness to pay, which may or may not always there. Then you have the advertising income that is under threat because advertisers are less willing to pay for the ads in the declining print publication. प्रिंट पब्लिकेशन कम हो रहा है तो मैं क्यों पैसा दूंगा उसमें ऐड लगाने का? Not necessary, right? Competing digital platforms are again getting very much attractive, which is outside magazine. Niharika, do you really feel like if I really tell you that, please start the magazine business today? Being a strategic business leader, would you be really keen on doing and starting a magazine business? Maybe not, because we see so many other areas of businesses that are in competition with the magazine. So we may not be very much interested in terms of starting this as a business. Who knows? You may want to, but considering the scenario, you may not want to start a business like this at this point in time, which is a downside, right? Competing digital platforms are more attractive to the advertisers. They are less dependent on the magazines per se. Industry is experiencing continuous consolidation with frequent takeovers and buyouts of the publishers and the publishing rights. That's again gonna be a big time concern which this industry has, which effectively means happening that in order to grow, my friend, I might have to do a takeover. I might have to acquire some publishing house and so on and so forth. Who knows, Mohit, if your question in the exam revolves around acquisition of a particular company? Who knows that? Mohit is a proud Fintramer, sir. He's gonna be rocking out in the exam. I'm loving you, Mohit, for that. That's what we really need. Then comes the risk. We have the production of the poor content being risk because reputation loss hoga, readers ka loss hoga, and of course you would have the loss of the sales and the advertisement revenue. There are legal issues also. If something wrong get published, Niharika जी, मैं आपको अपने साथ थाने लेके जाऊंगा. मैं छोड़ूंगा नहीं. If something wrong happens, legal fees and damages are there. We have to be aware of it. Damages for using the content that belongs to the other. Damages for ensuring that you're not preventing the personal information of the people that are there with you. Damages for ensuring that content that you use is having you're having your own right over there. You can't just steal a content from anywhere and print it in your magazine and go ahead. You have to give due royalty to the people who you are really buying the content from and so on and so forth. Cybersecurity is again a risk out here. You have to control the data or unauthorized access to the data, leading to fines and loss of trust by the readers. Very important. I at times feel blockchain in some way or the other can be a good way to keep your things in a more secured format. Search engine and social media content. Now this is very common these days. Many of the publishers are using social media to promote their content, but the social media norms are always changing, and because of which the search engine would not always picks you up and show you on the top. If that is the case, what should you do? For example, if Ebony goes up and types, I'm just making it up, like type like best ACCA SBL classes in Delhi or in India, if my name is not coming up automatically, Ebony, you will go to Mickey Mouse and take classes from, or you'll go to Donald Duck and take classes from, or you'll go to XYZ and take classes from. No offense to anyone. But I'm just trying to make it funny for you, make it more realistic for you, that you can go to anyone and take classes from. Let's say you want to buy a camera. If Sony will not come on the top, you might go to Nikon, you might go to Samsung, you might go to any brand, right? XYZ. Who knows, right? So search engine optimization plays a big time role because search happens on the social media, and everyone wants to come on the top. Whosoever is working towards it and coming on the top is making the difference. Otherwise, they're not. Niharika ji, with me on this? With me on this. सोने नहीं देना बेटा मैंने, बिल्कुल भी नहीं सोने देना मैंने किसी को. Mohit, with me on this. Alright. कशिश की गलबुतर कैमरा नहीं ऑन करना बच्चे आज. प्रिया, पिटाई होने वाली है बहुत. Alright, moving on guys. We have poor economic conditions. People are not willing to buy. People are not willing to spend on money on magazines. Alright, that's a problem. Problems with the paper supplier. Paper supplier नहीं दे पा रहा है, नहीं हो रहा है, मौसम अच्छा नहीं है, पेपर नहीं हुआ. Big time issues. And of course, impact of cash flows of significant increase in the paper cost. पेपर कॉस्ट बढ़ रहा है तो मेरे कैश फ्लो पे भी इम्पैक्ट है, मेरी प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी पे भी इम्पैक्ट है, एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. ऑलराइट, मूविंग ऑन. Loss of key person, inability to deliver the strategy, advertise impact on the content quality, foreign currency issues, climate change issues, adverse impacts on publishers, suppliers, and readers resulting from the extreme weather events. For example, there was a time, right, in some, I think in mid February or so, wherein the entire Manali Shimla was, was jam packed, and it was more like the roads were blocked. There was huge uh, snowing happening, and so on and so forth. So, do you really feel that, Niharika, in those weeks, in those 10 days, 15 days, will you be able to sell any kind of magazines or a newspaper out there? But you might be able to sell wheat or pasta or whatever, those things would be because you move on to the necessity very soon. All of these things are not necessity, right? Magazine is good to have, not must to have. So it's not a good to have kind of, not a must to have kind of a business. So we have to think about that. Some of the key performance indicators that have been mentioned out in your pre-seed material is revenue and revenue growth. We have seen revenue, at least from the publication businesses, following split of revenue between magazine and the advertisement revenue. Very important guys. इस इंडस्ट्री में तो होगा ही कि कितना पैसा मैं एक्चुअल सेल से लेके आता हूँ और कितना पैसा मैं एडवर्टीजमेंट से लेके आता हूँ. सो बोथ ऑफ द फैक्टर्स आर इंपॉर्टेंट. What is the split of publication revenue from print and digital? Again, very important. We all understand that. Operating profit, free cash flows, earning per shares, number of subscribers for print, and then for digital. We have to really think through that. Number of visitors to the magazine's website. Okay. Staff turnover that we have. How many staff are being, attrited, and so on and so forth. Then environmental aspect, because you are into the print business, right? How much energy you are consuming, how much amount of waste that you're generating, how much amount of paper that you're using, all of those things. Responsible leadership, sustainability, very important guys. Everybody understands everything, right, in relation to sustainability. Very important guys, because this is certainly going to be a game changer out here. Is that clear? Is that clear, Mohit? That is what we wanted to cover from the industry perspective. This is the information that is available from the industry parlance in your pre-seed material. Now we will go on and touch upon the company in terms of what is there in the Mercy. Can we take a 5-minute break and then we start? Can we take 5-minute break, Niharika madam? I just needed to grab a cup of coffee and come back. We'll take 5 minutes break and then we'll start off, guys. All right.
यहाँ से कर सकते हो, कैमरा देख चलेगा लास्ट का देख लिया। दे दिया मैंने टर्नर को। क्या होगा मैंने कैमरे के सामने खड़ा होता था। नहीं भाई मैं खड़ा नहीं हूँ भाई, तू लाइट पे आएगा वो। लॉन्च किया है आ सकता हूँ। स्क्रीन के ऊपर खड़ा हूँ। अच्छा ठीक है अब ओके। नहीं भाई सब लाइट जली हुई है। एक्सपोजर कम किया था ना वहाँ से, बस बढ़ाना है। ठीक है ना। अभी ठीक है
क्या ठीक है?
अल्टरनेट
ये हटाऊं? ऐसे नहीं
नहीं सर हेलो शूटिंग हाँ शूटिंग पर
Cut you off.
हेलो शूटिंग ऑफ करके भाई भाई मैं दो साउंड सिस्टम से बात सुन क्या करना है बताओ। अच्छा तो मुझे किस पर क्लिक करना है लिखा है भाई। अच्छा ये यहाँ पे इसके बाद आएगा
हो गया काम खत्म.
डन ठीक है मैं यहाँ से भाई तो माउस चेंज करवाओ तुम लोग यहाँ का ना एक क्लिक मारो डबल क्लिक हो रहा है। टेबल निकाल सकता है अच्छा ठीक है चलो बाकी ठीक है ना रख दो।
Hi guys. Hello G. Am I audible guys? Abhinay, Sanjana, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mohit. Good. Cool. So let's move on, guys. Move on to the company's perspective. Move on to the company that we really have, on our discussion. We have the Mercy company, which is one of the five largest magazine publishers in Darland. So we know that we are one of the topmost. Established 6 years ago, initially publishing magazine in on home and lifestyle. So we started with home and lifestyle. Now we have moved completely into leisure, expanded through popular magazine launches and acquisition. So we have been doing acquisitions in past, example sport magazines and so on and so forth. Publishes over 300 magazines covering wide range of leisure subjects. So we are producing 300 magazines. Most magazines are monthly with some weekly or quarterly kind of a perspective. All magazines are available in print and digital format. So we have existence in both the worlds. Offices and retailers are based in Darland, listed on Darland Stock Exchange for past 8 years. So effectively, we are a listed company, Priya ji. We are a listed company of Darland per se. All right. What is my mission statement? Mission statement is to enhance our reader lives through the expert provision of information which engages, enables, and entertains them. So that's our mission in terms of what we're driving for. We have to know this, Mohit. We have to know this mission. मिशन को किसी ना किसी तरह किसी शेप एंड फॉर्मेट में हमें एग्जाम में जरूर से लिख के आना चाहिए. डायरेक्टली नहीं, इनडायरेक्टली सही, बट मैं किसी ना किसी को कोरिलेट करूंगा मिशन स्टेटमेंट से, विच वुड मेक एग्जामिनर फील एंड अंडरस्टैंड दैट मोहित इज अ प्राउड fintramer. He understands the mission statement and able to correlate that to the exhibits in the exam. Is that clear, Mohit? Yes, sir. Mercy Communications highlight that authors and readers from one large community emphasizes value such as sustainability and personal and professional development of employees, maintains ethical code that includes broad principles like integrity, honest content creation, specific provisions which are in compliant with NMSA regulation, which is all the more good, right? If you have something like this as a mission statement and you are being vouched out for that, nothing else. Split of shareholding is as follows. I have 60% institutional shareholders, 30% belongs to my directors, 10% to the other shareholders. So I'm institutional heavy organization. तो कहीं ना कहीं मेरी decision making भी कहीं ना कहीं institutions drive या define या कहीं ना कहीं impact करते होंगे. All right. Mercy has 12 directors, 6 executive directors, 6 non-executive directors. 50-50 split complies with the Darland's corporate governance code, which is good, right? We are in compliant with what Darland's corporate governance code is all about. All NEDs meet the code's independence criteria, which is good. Mercy has nomination, audit, and remuneration committee, which is in line with the governance code. Additionally, we have a risk committee, which is not required by the code. So we are, on the whole, on the I would say face of it, we are very much in compliant with what is needed for us to have a rightful existence uh, in the country as such, as far as the compliance group is concerned. This slide shows the board structure. We have the chair, chief executive officers, and 5 NEDs. Of course, we have operations directors, finance director, marketing director, HR director, and IT director reporting on to the chief executive director, and so on and so forth. If we really talk on the product, print magazines can be subscribed into directly or purchased by the retailers. Digital subscription provide online access to all past and current magazine editions. Mercy does not offer digital magazines via email. One thing we might want to implement in some way or the other. Is email the right format? We don't know, but they're specifically saying this, so we should have this, at the back of our mind, that Mercy is not offering digital magazines via email. We should have that in some shape or format. Organization. Mercy is organized into 8 divisions based on magazine content: sports, lifestyle, computers. The moment I read 8 divisions, I found that they are more than what is needed. Generally, companies do not have these many divisions or segments for that matter. I think there can be a consolidation around it. I'm just thinking aloud, my friend, but the way I read it, I thought this is going to be important and relevant. Each division has one main office, with some divisions having additional smaller offices. Head office is in Darland, capital city. Housing, senior management, procurement, marketing, and administration teams. Most authors work 2 days in the office and from home the remaining days. Some authors spends time outside the office to gather content, example attending sports events. Other staff has flexible office home schedules depending on their roles. So depending upon what it is, we are able to make sure that we are addressing the staff rightfully. Just give me a sec, guys. All right. Now, one thing that is really important out here, guys, that you might be important to for you to really know is that most of author works 2 days in the office and from home in the remaining days. Now, seemingly it should not be a problem, but they have not bifurcated into freelancers and they have not bifurcated into their employees. So I am not aware of it in terms of how this bifurcation happens. I would want to understand that how are they structured internally, what are they exactly doing, how effective that is there a room for improvement out there or not, is something I should have that in my mind. The production staff, if I really talk on, magazine staffing varies by subject matter and publication frequency. All magazines employ one or more in-house authors for some content. Most magazines also use freelance authors. They're also using both, okay. Freelance authors provide expert content and they cover the work when employee authors are unavailable. We very well understand that. But we should know that all the magazines employ one or more in-house authors for some content. So the way they are operating is that in-house author is leading the content and then they also use freelance authors. Do they need 2 authors? I think it is not the right way of utilizing their own internal staff. If there is a cost control that really comes our way, I would say that in our in-house authors should be equipped enough that they should be handle the content end to end. Why should I be using freelance authors over and above the in-house authors? Not needed. Ideally, not needed. Ebony, with me on this? Yes, sir. All right. Paper and printing. Mercy sources paper from multiple suppliers. Paper suppliers are stated to use sustainable raw material, which is good, guys. Good. They are doing the right things. Mercy conducts printing in-house, unlike most darling publishers who are outsourcing printing. Nyarika ji, I may have to do an assessment. Printing in-house is beneficial or outsourcing printing is beneficial? Which one is good? Which one is more beneficial? Cost benefit analysis, internal analysis करना पड़ सकता है बच्चे एग्जाम में. हाईलाइट करा हुआ पॉइंट है, मुझे चुभ रहा है, तो I have to highlight that. I have to understand that. I have to think through that. Mohit Puttar, with me on this? Yes, distribution. Mercy Transport Magazine from printing location to its central distribution hub in Darland. The distribution hub sends magazine to the individual subscribers via postal service. Is this right? Is postal service right? Do we in-house? Do we make it in-house? Do we use Uber kind of thing for something like this? Would that be more cheaper? God knows. Deliver magazines directly to retailers. Do we really need that? Should we move them to e-copy? Who knows? I'm just guessing all those things out that this is what it is. They're highlighting these pointers, guys. Do you really feel, Mohit ji, that all the magazines should be transferred from print location to the central distribution hub? Is this right? Is the central distribution hub right from the longer term perspective? Does the location of central distribution hub is right for overall distribution in terms of the, I would say, the vicinity that we really cater to? Is it something geographically right? I don't know what I don't know right now at this point in time, but I have to have that at the back of my mind, my friend. Priya with me on this? संजना जी मेरे साथ हो? छोड़ने नहीं देना बेटा मैंने किसी को भी. All right. Yes. Mercy has used same digital publishing platform for several years. Mohit, this should raise your eyebrows. Several years I'm using same digital publishing platform. चलेगा? आज की डेट में नई नई चीजें आ रही हैं. क्या इतने सालों पुराने वाला मेरा डिजिटल पब्लिशिंग प्लेटफॉर्म काम करेगा? Maybe, may not be. I should ideally be investing on into the AI driven platform nowadays. Why should I be living with the old timer kind of platforms? नहीं निहारिका जी, नहीं करना चाहिए. Maybe something on this we get to see in the exam. Platform provide customization of the print content from the website, incorporation of images, some data analytics capabilities. कोई भी बहुत फंडू capability मुझे नहीं बताई गई है यहाँ पे, स्पेशली फ्रॉम द मॉडर्न कॉन्टेक्स्ट परस्पेक्टिव. आज की डेट में तो मुझे ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म चाहिए जो देखे कि कैसे अपकमिंग टॉपिक्स मार्केट में डिमांड में हैं, किन टॉपिक पे मार्केट में सबसे ज्यादा सर्च हो रही है, उन टॉपिक के ऊपर आर्टिकल्स आए, उन टॉपिक के ऊपर मैगजीन्स बने और फिर वो सर्कुलेट हो एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. क्या मेरा करंट प्लेटफॉर्म मुझे परमिट करता है? नहीं करता है. There is a gap, Niharika ji. I think there is a room for improvement out there. Subscriber database is managed in compliance with data protection regulation, recording contract details, subscribed magazine, payment information, and so on and so forth, which is good. Board considers administration and accounting systems adequate for Mercy needs, which is okay. I hear you, but it is okay to the Mercy needs right now at this point in time. What about future, my friend? I don't know what I don't know, but I should have that at the back of my mind. No, Niharika, with me on this. Niharika ji, मेरे साथ हो? Yes, sir. Let's go on to the stakeholders, guys. Mercy's significant stakeholders are same as those listed in the sectoral information. We have some risks. Mercy major risks are the same for the sector at large. No other risks, but there are some website extracts being given. Ebony, very important, guys. We should know this. We strive to produce trustworthy and original content which engages and enable and entertains the reader. We are committed to countering threats of misinformation and false news. Should we have some AI kind of a system that is ensuring that the news that really goes in is the right one and at the right point in time in the earliest format? Answer is yes. Working environment. We strive to provide supportive environment to our employees and the opportunities to produce top quality content. We reward strong performance by any number of staff. We are committed to diversity and fostering community value, community culture. We see development of employees as not just acquiring the knowledge needed for their roles, but professional and personal development in the widest sense. Our managers are ready to listen to employee concerns. They're very much looking forward, which is a corporate responsibility statement being made at the Mercy's website, which is loved to be read. All right, stakeholder engagement. We are aware of our impacts on the stakeholders and are committed to respectful and have a regular dialogue with all the stakeholders whom our activities significantly affect. We want to find out what our stakeholders think of us and learn what is more important for them. We aim to use that dialogue to take actions which addresses stakeholders' concerns and enhances our relations with them. Very good. Coming on to the social and environmental commitment, I personally feel you might get to see something on these lines. We want to help build sustainable future in which our business has positive social impacts, which are constantly looking at ways to avoiding the use of irreplaceable resources. We aim to reduce continuously our direct emissions and impact. We regularly encourage our suppliers to follow our objectives of being socially and environmentally responsible. We are also committed to developing transparent reporting for our impacts on the community and environment. They have not mentioned integrated reporting out here, Mohit. You might get to implement that in the exam. इंटीग्रेटेड रिपोर्टिंग के बारे में अगर हम इंप्लीमेंट करते हैं और वहां पे मोहित अगर आप ये लिख के आते हो दैट आर कॉर्पोरेट सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी as there in our mission statement specifically says that we are committed to developing the transparent reporting that impacts the community and the environment. Hence there is a need of implementation of the integrated reporting. Examiner would love it, my friend, would love it. You're getting my point? Mohit ji, मेरे साथ हो? Yes, sir. All right. Financial and non-financial information. Revenues are sort of getting stagnant, if not declining, because there is a decline in the publication revenue that we are seeing. On the whole, revenues are getting stagnant, but revenue from publication is falling. That is what I was saying even on the day one, guys. That when I saw the pre-read, this material in the first glance, I was like, print business revenue is falling. Natural segue to going digital. Thinking about artificial intelligence is going to be important. We have to think about areas wherein we have to increase revenue going more digital. We have to think through environment being more responsible in terms of our management, in terms of our leadership. We have to be very sustainable in terms of approach that we follow, and so on and so forth. न्यारिका बेटा, इन सब चीजों को दिमाग में रख के जाना है बच्चे एग्जाम में, तभी तो मैं विशाखापट्टनम आऊंगा बेटा कॉफी पीने, नहीं तो मैं कैसे आऊंगा बच्चे? बात समझ में आती है? बिल्कुल आती है. Revenue from the advertising is increasing, which is lovingly better now, but operating profit is declining. They have not given any reason for it, but they says operating profit margin of 2005 is 27%. Imagine what it used to be earlier. There is a constant fall in it. We have to analyze the reason for it. We have to understand the reason for it and then suggest what is the right way of handling that. That can be distribution channel. That can be the cost of authors. That can be the cost of distribution. That can be the cost of printing that I'm doing in-house. Might want to, go it out and do it outsourcing of it. It can be anything, my friend. But these are the areas that when I was reading pre-scene material, it was really banging on my head कि मैंने ये areas नहीं भूलने हैं और बिल्कुल नहीं भूलने हैं. Abhini, you're with me on this, my friend. You're angry with me. All right. Moving on, guys. Print-based edition sales. It is following in the volume. We very well understand. See, print-based edition sales is falling. Energy consumed is also falling, which is good. But I don't know the reason for it. I don't know what is the reason for it, but energy consumption is falling, which is again highlighting the fact that if there is a measure being taken, we are very well looking forward to sustainability. We are very well interested in ensuring the sustainability, which is good. But it is unclear from here. It seemingly says my profits are falling, my print-based sales are falling, my revenue are getting stagnant, energy consumption is falling. If it is falling due to the measures I'm taking, it certainly signifies that I'm very much looking forward for sustainability. So it is a big plus for us, which I should keep doing, and so on and so forth. Happy जी, बात समझ में आती है? Yes, sir. एक ना स्लाइड मैंने और ऐड करी बेटा इसमें, क्योंकि मेरे को ऐसा लगता है ये वो सारे टॉपिक हैं जो आपको ब्रेनस्टॉर्म करने चाहिए. और आने वाले दिनों में हम बार बार मिलना चाहेंगे आपसे। तो हम इन सब टॉपिक्स पे आपके जो भी डाउट्स हों, जो भी कंफ्यूजन हों, जो भी डिस्कशंस हो बेटा, वो हम करेंगे। वी विल बी टॉकिंग टुगेदर, we'll be discussing those things together to make sure at least that you get a hang of it in terms of how things might come your way in the exam. तो हम सेशन को यहाँ एंड नहीं करेंगे बेटा, हम फिर मिलेंगे कल नहीं तो परसों। वी विल कैच अप अगेन। आई रियली वांट नाउ फॉर यू टू गो बैक एंड रीड द प्री सीन मटेरियल। अब जो आपको ईज मिलेगा प्री सीन मटेरियल को पढ़ने में, दैट इज गोना बी आउट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड। बिकॉज बेटा अब ना, जब आप प्री सीन मटेरियल पढ़ोगे ना, तो यू वुड स्टार्ट कंज्यूमिंग इट, वो आपके खून में जाना शुरू हो जाएगा बेटा, और दैट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग। निहारिका बेटा मेरे साथ हो?
Yes, sir.
All right. These are the areas, my friend, which you should certainly brainstorm in some shape of matter in your mind. And of course, we'll be talking that on the ongoing basis. I personally feel declining the print business is something we should be very much worried about. We should see alternatives in terms of what can we do, and for that we have to think about how can we enhance the experience of digital. How can we enhance digital thing? How can we enhance the experience of my digital things in the major or in the broader sense? How can I increase my profitability? What can I do? See some of the factors that I mentioned to you. I mentioned to you मुझे आउटसोर्स हो सकता है करना पड़े, मुझे डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन नेटवर्क हो सकता है ओवरऑल करना पड़े. I may have to think through in terms of the cost that I'm paying for the paper or for the people. I might have to see कि मैं आउटसाइडर वाले ऑथर्स को क्यों लगाऊं, मैं इंटरनली क्यों ना लगाऊं, एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. वो सब चीज़ें मेरे दिमाग में घूमनी शुरू हो जानी चाहिए. स्टेक होल्डर एक्सपेक्टेशन मैनेजमेंट, विच इज़ लाइक आई एम 60% मेरे स्टेक होल्डर्स जो हैं वो इन्वेस्टर्स हैं, राइट, एंड दे विल बी वेरी मच इंटरेस्टेड इन रिटर्न्स. मैं क्या रिटर्न दे रहा हूँ? अगर मैं फॉल करता दिखा रहा हूँ प्रॉफिट, तो दे विल बी लाइक वेरी मच वरिड. So I need to really strengthen my profitability in some way or the other. इंडस्ट्री कंसोलिडेशन के बारे में हो सकता है मुझे सोचना पड़े. मैं वर्टिकल या हॉरिजॉन्टल इंटीग्रेशन के बारे में सोच सकता हूँ in terms of me acquiring a distribution network or me acquiring a sales network. Who knows, right? But we have to think through on both aspects. That can also be one of the areas to think through. I have to see through that if there is any change in the organizational structure that is needed. Again, I'm thinking it from the cost perspective. Remember, he said कि 8 division है हमारे और 8 offices भी हैं हमारे, और then they have their own things to really manage. Do we really need these many offices? Do we really need these many divisions? Can we consolidate that? Maybe cost will get saved. Who knows that? Think through on those lines. AI related expansion is must. They have not spoken on anything on AI, but think about, निहारिका बेटा, संजना बेटा, सोचो एक बार, हम मैगजीन इंडस्ट्री में हैं. अगर हमारे पास सही मायने में एआई कैपेबिलिटी हो और हम ये जान सकें कि कौन कौन से एरिया सर्च्ड होते हैं, कौन कौन से एरिया आने वाले हैं, कौन कौन से एरिया की डिमांड आ सकती है, कौन कौन से ऐसे टॉपिक हैं जो आज कल परसों हॉट टॉपिक हो सकते हैं, मैं उन पे एडवांस में क्या बना सकता हूँ, कौन कौन सी मेरी ऑडियंस है, जो किस तरह की मेरी ऑडियंस मेरी स्कैटर्ड है, मैं ऑडियंस रिलेटेड कंटेंट बनाऊं. ये सब कुछ एआई से हो सकता है. क्या मैं ऐसा कुछ कर सकता हूँ? क्या मेरा जो ओवरऑल मेरा जो प्लेटफॉर्म है, क्या वो एआई इंटीग्रेटेड हो सकता है? आई जस्ट थॉट, इफ आई वर यू, आई वुड हैव बीन सेइंग दिस कि होना चाहिए, किसी हाल में भी होना चाहिए, एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. वी शुड ऑल्सो थिंक अबाउट रिस्क इन रिलेशन टू कंप्लायंसेस, कि मैं जैसे जैसे बढ़ने की सोच रहा हूँ, तो क्या कंप्लायंस रिस्क आएंगे मेरे पास, या डेटा प्रोटेक्शन रिस्क आएंगे? आज नहीं है, बट क्या वो आएंगे? द मोर आई गेट इन ऑन टू द डिजिटल साइड, वो रिस्क मेरे बढ़ जाएंगे. मैं पब्लिशिंग साइड में जब तक होता हूँ ना, मेरे पास रिस्क नहीं होते हैं डेटा के, बट जैसे ही मैं डिजिटल साइड जाता हूँ, मेरे वो रिस्क बढ़ जाते हैं. बिकॉज मेरा डाटा कॉपी हो सकता है, मेरा डेटा का कॉपीराइट क्लेम हो सकता है, एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. सो मुझे डेटा की ओरिजिनलिटी सिक्योर करनी है. कोई ऐसा एआई प्लेटफॉर्म हो जो मेरे डेटा की ओरिजिनलिटी सिक्योर कर ले, एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. कुछ ऐसा हो कि मुझे, मैं अगेन आई एम गोइंग वाइल्ड, वी आर लिविंग इन द वर्ल्ड ऑफ चैट जीपीटीज एंड परप्लेक्सिटीज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. क्या मुझे इतने सारे ऑथर्स की जरूरत है? क्या मैं ऐसा कुछ कर सकता हूँ कि मेरा एआई ड्रिवन प्लेटफॉर्म हो जो मुझे ऑथर्स ही ना चाहिए हो इतने सारे, एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. अगेन आई एम जस्ट गोइंग वाइल्ड गाइस. देयर इज नो राइट और रॉन्ग आंसर इन दिस एग्जाम. You just have to think as much as possible. You have to think through that, how can you, rather than authors, I may have validators. मुझे author वाला concept ही नहीं चाहिए. मुझे वो humanizers चाहिए जो अच्छा अच्छा content AI से generate करें, उसे humanize करें, स्मार्ट बनाएं, पिक्टोरल बनाएं, कलरफुल बनाएं और पब्लिश करें. मुझे क्यों चाहिए ऑथर्स एक नया कंटेंट ढूंढने के लिए? क्यों मैं ऐसा पैसा वेस्ट करूं? क्या मैं ऐसा कुछ कर सकता हूं? वी आर लिविंग इन द वर्ल्ड ऑफ एआई, राइट? हु knows that is possible? I'm just giving you my food for thoughts, my friend. You really have to think through. I am not giving you any answers, any questions for that matter, but मैं वो thoughts दे रहा हूँ जो ये पढ़ते हुए मेरे दिमाग में आते हैं, ताकि बेटा आपको वो, मैं एटलीस्ट वो मैं कहते रहा, मैं बीज बो रहा हूँ बच्चे आपके दिमाग में. मैं बीज बोऊंगा. पेड़ तो बेटा उसको आपने बनाना, वो पानी दे के खाद डाल के पेड़ तो बेटा आप बनाओगे उसको. बट थिंक ऑन दोज लाइन्स. ऑल दीज प्रेजेंटेशंस विल बी अवेलेबल टू यू. आपने सिर्फ लिखना नहीं है, नहीं कुछ भी, इस पे कैपिटलाइज करना है. ये वीडियोस भी बच्चे आपके पास है, ये कंटेंट भी आपके पास है, सब है. जितना ज्यादा बच्चे सोचोगे उतना अच्छा लिख पाओगे बेटा. I hope we were able to add some different color and perspective to the pre-scene material as you needed. I'm very sure guys, आज जब घर जाके जब pre-scene material पढ़ोगे तो आप मुझे दिल से थैंक यू बोलोगे कि नहीं सर मजा आ गया. बिकॉज अब जो pre-scene material समझ में आ रहा है वो शायद पहले आता नहीं, वो होगा. बिकॉज आपने एक बार डिस्कशन किया होता है ना, तो जब आप फिर वो चीज़ों को पढ़ते हो ना बेटा तो आप कोरिलेट कर पाते हो. अब पढ़ना है बच्चे, अब पढ़ना है, और फिर इस डेक को दोबारा देखना है पढ़ने के बाद, और फिर कहना है कि सर पेपर क्लियर होने के बाद तो कॉफ़ी बाद में पिलाऊंगी, एक अभी पी लेते हैं इकट्ठे, और मैं फटाफट से एक वर्चुअल कॉफ़ी आप लोगों के साथ पी लूँगा कल या परसों, फिर हम दोबारा डिस्कस करेंगे. बात समझ में आती है निहारिका जी? सोने नहीं देना बेटा मैंने. संजना मैडम, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes sir. मोहित कोई सवाल मेरे लिए? Ebony, any question for me? Priya ma'am, any question for me? Anything that is troubling you guys? Anywhere you need my help? Anything that I can really help you out with? Ebony Guttar?
So, the revenue from publications is also related to MRC as well, right?
थोड़ा सा जोर की बोलो बच्चा, थोड़ा सा जोर की बोलोगे.
The revenue from publications, the graph which is there, that's also related to the company itself, right?
Yes.
So like what's the difference between revenue and the revenue they're getting from publications? Like the overall.
बेटा वो ओवरऑल रेवेन्यू है जिसमें डिजिटल भी होगा, पब्लिकेशन भी होगा,
Okay.
एडवर्टीजमेंट भी होगा, उसमें तीनों चीजें होनी चाहिए. और देखो बेटा उसने जो इन्फॉर्मेशन मुझे नहीं दी है मैं उस पर कॉमेंट नहीं कर सकता. मैं सिर्फ गेस कर रहा हूँ कि वो ओवरऑल रेवेन्यू है, तो उसमें मेरे पास डिजिटल भी है, मेरे पास एडवर्टाइजमेंट भी है, मेरा पब्लिकेशन भी है, और एक में मेरे पास सिर्फ पब्लिकेशन है जो फॉल दिखा रहा है वो. तो मैं उसका, हो सकता है एग्जिबिट मुझे कुछ और बताए, वो बताए एडवर्टाइजमेंट रेवेन्यू बढ़ रहा है, डिजिटल कम स्पीड से बढ़ रहा है, एडवर्टाइजमेंट ज़्यादा स्पीड से बढ़ रहा है, या वाइस वर्सा. तो मुझे सोचना चाहिए, मुझे ऐसा भी सोचना चाहिए कि मैं अपना एडवर्टाइजमेंट रेवेन्यू कैसे बढ़ाऊंगा. बिकॉज उसने कहीं ना कहीं ये लिखा है कि एक मेरी डाउन साइड ये भी है कि क्योंकि प्रिंट बिजनेस घट रहा है तो लोगों का एडवर्टाइजमेंट की तरफ झुकाव घट रहा है, तो हो सकता है एडवर्टाइजमेंट रेवेन्यू भी फॉल कर रहा हो. तो मुझे अपनी एडवर्टाइजमेंट को बढ़ाना है, वो मैं कैसे बढ़ा सकता हूँ, मेरे को उस बारे में भी सोचना है.
Yes, thank you, sir.
जितना वाइल्ड हो सकते हो ना अभिनी, जितना वाइल्ड हो सकते हो उतना वाइल्ड हो जाना बच्चे एग्जाम में. मैं वाइल्ड में भी ये रॉन्ग वर्ड है, मतलब मैं शायद ये बोलना चाह रहा हूँ बेटा जितना दूर तक सोच सकता है ना बच्चे, उतना दूर तक सोचना मेरे बेटे. एग्जाम में ना अपने आप को रिस्ट्रिक्ट नहीं करना बच्चे, बड़ा सोचना है हमने, बड़ा जितना, क्योंकि वो स्ट्रेटेजिक सोच मांगता है ना मेरे से. आप सोचो प्रिंट का रेवेन्यू घट रहा है, डिजिटल का बढ़ाना है, ये तो हर जन बोलेगा एग्जाम में, हर जन. कोई भी ऐसा है जो नहीं बोलेगा? सब बोलेंगे. बट एबिनी अगर ऐसा कुछ बोला है कि यू नो व्हाट, what I feel is that हमें प्रिंट भी बंद नहीं करना चाहिए. प्रिंट फॉल तो कर रहा है, बट प्रिंट भी इंक्रीज होगा अगर मैं जियोग्राफी चेंज कर दूंगी. बहुत सारी ऐसी जियोग्राफी भी हो सकती हैं जहां इंटरनेट की पेनिट्रेशन इस समय ना हो. मैं वहां जाके प्रिंट का भी एक्सपेंशन लूंगी, या मैं प्रिंट के अंदर ऐसी कोई चीज निकालूं कि लोगों का प्रिंट की तरफ झुकाव बढ़े. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, मैं प्रिंट डिफरेंट डिफरेंट लैंग्वेजेस में अवेलेबल कराऊं, जो लोकल वहां की लैंग्वेजेस हैं उसके अंदर उन्हें दूं, क्योंकि वहां पे मोबाइल की पेनिट्रेशन मान लो कम है. आई डोंट नो व्हाट आई डोंट नो राइट नाउ एट दिस पॉइंट इन टाइम अभी नहीं, बट हमें वाइल्ड होना है बच्चे. और कोई भी एक रूट नहीं लेना कि यही रूट सही है. मैं वो रूट भी लूंगा, मैं ये भी बोलूंगा, मैं ये भी बोलूंगा, एग्जाम्पल दिखा के आऊंगा कि बॉस मुझे तो सब आता है, मैंने तो सब सीखा है, ये भी ले, ये भी ले, ये भी ले, और फटाफट से आ जा, मार्क्स दे ताकि मैं कॉफी के लिए जाऊं आगे. एफिलिएट बनना है अभी नहीं, फटाफट से बनना है, और फिर मुझे बुलाना है ना निहारिका जी? निहारिका कह रहे क्या बोल रहे हो सर, है ना निहारिका जी? मोहित, इस बार फोड़ के आना एग्जाम को, कोई इफ एंड बट नहीं हो ना. संजना मैडम, बेटा फोड़ के आना एग्जाम को. मुझे तुम नजर नहीं आ रहे हो उसका ये मतलब नहीं मैं छोड़ दूंगा तुम्हें, बिल्कुल नहीं छोड़ रहा हूं. फोड़ के आना है बच्चे एग्जाम को. यस. एनी अदर क्वेश्चन गाइस, एनीवन? इतनी मेहनत करवाते हो मेरे से कम मेरे को खुशी तो मिले रिजल्ट वाले दिन. क्या मजा आया सर, मुझे भी तो खुशी होती है ना. निहारिका का मैसेज आएगा, सर आई क्लियर द एग्जाम, मजा आ गया, ये रहा मेरा स्क्रीनशॉट, देखो इतने सारे मेरे मार्क्स आए. मैं सुबह जब उठता हूँ ना 5 बजे 5:30 बजे, और ऐसे मुझे मैसेज आए होते हैं टिंग 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 टिंग, मेरा दिल ही खुश हो जाता है उस समय. उन्होंने कहा यार मजा आ गया. मैं सबसे पहले स्वाति को, मतलब मेरी अपनी वाइफ को ये बोलता हूँ, मैंने कहा यार आज तो कहीं ना बाहर छोले भटूरे खाने चलते हैं, आज तो मजा आ गया. You know, that's the feeling that we guys have, no? When we get to see ting 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 ting. Because then you feel ना, क्या जो मेहनत करी थी वो सफल होती है. 4 जन 5 जन 6 जन इतने सारे मार्क्स लेके आए कि दिल ही खुश हो जाता है कि मजा आ गया. वैसा चाहिए बेटा. विशाखापट्टनम तो मैं पक्का से आऊंगा निहारिका जी, आप देख लेना. जिस दिन आऊंगा ना, एक हफ्ता पहले मैसेज डाल दूंगा, निहारिका आई एम लैंडिंग इन विशाखापट्टनम ऑन दिस डेट. मैं आया नहीं हूँ कभी, आई हैव नेवर बीन टू विशाखापट्टनम, लेट मी टेल यू दैट.
हाँ सर आइएगा सर.
पक्का से. अभी नहीं, तुम कहाँ पे हो?
currently I'm in Muscat.
मस्कट. ओके. मस्कट तो पता नहीं कैसे आऊंगा बेटा, बट कोई बात नहीं, विल सी टू इट. आई हैव ए क्लोज फ्रेंड इन मस्कट तो, बट कभी जाना नहीं होता है मस्कट. वी जनरली फ्लाई डाउन टू दुबई एंड कम बैक. मोहित जी, ऐसा नहीं है मैं इन्हीं को बोल रहा हूँ कॉफी पीने के लिए. मोहित तुमने और मैंने ही पीनी है. मोहित कहेगा मेरे से तो सर बात ही नहीं कर रहे कॉफी की. ऐसा नहीं, मैं भूल नहीं रहा हूँ. मोहित ने कहाँ बुलाना है मुझे? मुंबई?
इंदौर.
कहाँ पे?
इंदौर.
इंदौर. तो फिर तो हम वहाँ पोहा खाएंगे.
हाँ सर पोहा जलेबी.
ऑलराइट, एनी क्वेश्चन गाइस, एनीवन? कुछ भी सवाल मेरे लिए, कोई भी चीज जो तंग कर रही हो बेटा, घबराना नहीं है बेटा बिल्कुल. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि आप जब आप प्री सीड मटेरियल पढ़ोगे तो आपको कंफर्ट आएगा. हम कल का दिन छोड़ के परसों फिर मिलेंगे. वी विल बी टॉकिंग ऑन दिस एंड वी विल टेक इट ऑन फ्रॉम देयर. ठीक है?
Sir, in the next session, can we please have a thing on financial analysis, like how to answer your questions regarding financial analysis?
Yes, we can. We will,
Thank
Sanjana ji, we will. But can you promise me next session that we will have, you'll be at home and you can switch on your camera?
Tomorrow I'm working, but if it's on Wednesday, yes.
Yes, it's gonna be on Wednesday, not tomorrow.
Okay, sir, then done.
Done. फिर financial analysis को उधेड़ेंगे हम अच्छे से.
Thank you.
All right, so let's do it this way, guys. You read through the pre-seed material. We'll are catching up day after tomorrow. and we'll be giving you one mock also day after tomorrow. We'll be taking up from there. Right? All right, guys, good. Thank you very much for time. Look forward and keep going. Keep going, my friend. You will rock for sure. All right, see you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.